All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining. We're going to be reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising from now, well, for the month of February 2026. And we are going to be doing love readings. Congratulations. I'm decided to pry it from my cold, stony heart to be able to do some love readings for February 2026. So that way we can join in on all the festivities of Valentine's Day, which I'm a sucker for holidays, so we're going to give it a go. I'm going to try to get myself out of my comfort zone and try to read a little bit more into some other topics, which love is not necessarily my forte, but, we'll see. I can read for people when it's a face-to-face kind of, dialogue with them, if they ask me about something, but usually it's about, is someone coming back from the past, or, is someone going to, how do they feel about me? They turned me out and they clap this, they clap that. How do they feel about me after not speaking for a week? It's like everything that they feel about you, they probably felt for that 20 minutes that you were getting railed in the backseat of someone's car. That is how I feel about a lot of these love situations in the game of tarot. A lot of the questions that people ask. We're not really going to play that game too much. We're going to get in some real thoughtful, caring messages. Hopefully we can do that for today. And see what is in store for Scorpio for this month of February. So, that said, the order of the day is as always. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from future postings. If you'd like to leave a small donation, feel free to do that in the PayPal link in the description box below. That said, we're going to go ahead and carry on. We're going to read for the sign of Scorpio. So, Scorpio, your outcome for the month of February 2026 is going to be the Ten of Wands in the reverse and the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, which means that whatever it is that you're dealing with in matters of the heart, matters of love, you're going to be dropping it like a sack of bricks. And that message, from the devil's advocates coming out, it's like, what are you carrying all those bricks for, God? It's not to say that, we have to go the route of, being the Antichrist or something like that, but we're talking about a situation in love where you've just decided enough is enough. You want out of it. You want to finally feel a sense of relief after carrying this burden and realizing something is not worth carrying. You've probably already been in a period of introspection about this love relationship. So this does give me the inclination that this is someone you know and someone you've been in a relationship with for a bit of time. Because after that Six of Pentacles, where you're giving and receiving, possibly being breadcrumbed, you've gone to the Seven of Pentacles, which is now, I'm going to take a step back, reflect on what it is that I have accumulated from the beginning of this relationship until this point now, and then we're going to decide whether or not it's going to be worth carrying it, and I don't see you carrying it for much longer. In the recent past, again, there's that energy of feeling like breadcrumbed or being stalled, and almost like you've gotten over a sense of betrayal. And I'm getting the impression that you tried to start something over again with a particular person who had betrayed you in the past, and you're now trying to heal that betrayal. And these are the types of love relationship readings that I absolutely despise, for the simple reason that you never go rummaging through the trash, the rubbish, so that way you can resurrect a rotten ham sandwich, or whatever it is that people throw away in the rubbish bins. People tend to treat their love relationships like that because of a lack of self-respect. And to be fairly honest with you, anytime where you have to go back into a relationship that didn't work out, it's normally because of a fear of letting go of that person and what the potential of that relationship could be, which is a very dangerous place to be. I have done that in the past. I speak from experience, not necessarily just to, poo-poo on people's parade and stuff like that, but from personal experience. I've tried, okay, let's give this relationship another go. let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to take place. Will we be able to mend this? And it starts off really good, and then all the same shit that you didn't heal from the past begins to rear its ugly head slowly but surely because nothing was sorted out. It's like if you leave a house because of a leaky roof and you're just like, I'm done with this. Maybe I can sleep in the living room this time because, maybe there's a space in the corner where it's not like flooded and there's mold all over the floor and stuff in the walls. So I'll give it a go. You walk back in the house, you sleep on that non-moldy bit of the floor where the rest of it's just gone to shit. And you realize maybe this was a bad decision because nothing had been fixed. Nothing had been sorted out in that flat, that house, that whatever, leading you to an even more detrimental situation. So people who get back into relationships and then they realize, wow, this person didn't change. And on top of that, they're doubling down on their efforts to treat me like shit because they're realizing all the mistakes they made in not being able to keep you the first time. So sometimes maybe it's not that things will begin to work out with you and the person you run back to, but it will, in essence, give that person who could just be completely horrible individual, that horrible individual will look at the relationship as like, okay, well, how can I make this last longer under my terms? Can I be more abusive? Can I just punch a person in the face a little bit more? Can I, be a little bit more cold and aloof? Can I cheat a little bit more, but keep it even more out of the public eye? Maybe if I perfect my art of being a toxic piece of shit, then this relationship will work. That's how the other person may be thinking, and you're just completely oblivious to that. And these are some of the things that you may want to consider. So it's just, sometimes the person that you're with, when you try again in a relationship, they're not thinking about how they can treat you better. They're thinking about how they can fuck you over in a much more efficient and clandestine way, which is perfecting the art of being an actual douchebag, which is something that you'll want to avoid in the future. So it's about not going back to these types of people who treat you in such a manner. And this is what you kind of learn, because now you come to a choice. You have the lovers. Oh, sorry, we can't show nudity on YouTube. They'll probably block this one from showing up in the algorithms. Anyways. The lover is clarified by the Eight of Wands. This is a decision for you to say to yourself, I'm going to act swiftly. I'm going to communicate my feelings, my emotions. I'm making this choice, which is going to affect the nature of the relationship from here on out. And in doing so, you allow yourself to efficiently change the nature of your relationship to self. Because after the lovers, you have the chariot. That is getting the momentum and moving everything forward, which is going to then allow you to set your life on a new course. Because what I see you doing here, towards the end of February, I see you turning down this relationship, letting go of the love offer, and taking a leap of faith on something new and different. So by doing this, you're no longer holding yourself to ransom by this individual that you have been spinning on a hamster wheel with. And you have finally recognized that your worth is not something that you give to someone else. You don't give your worth to a person. You share your value with someone of equal or greater value. And that is the way we do currency. Now, if I was to take your, your brand new Porsche Carrera or something like that, and then in return I give you a cheap jalopy, what's a really bad car? Maybe like an old beat up Vauxhall or something like that. You may not think that that's a fair trade. But if I was to say you just have to accept it, or you don't love me, or blah, 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 and gaslight you and all that stuff, That would be the equivalent of what people do today in relationships. They say to themselves, "Oh, well, I know I'm worth a lot and I'm a good person and stuff, but this woman, she's really, really cute and she makes this most beautiful faces when she's treating me like rubbish." Um, you don't want that in your life. You want a woman or a man or whoever you're dating to treat you with love, value you, and respect you. And if it's not worth it, drop the burden. You don't need them in your life. What investment is that in a person? What kind of value are they returning? What kind of a return on investment, ROI, as we would say in the economics world? Um, what are they giving you that you actually need or that you would value enough to where A, it's worth keeping in your life, or B, you could just say, you know what, fuck this, I'll just pay for it myself, and just I don't necessarily want to advocate sex worth, but I'm saying in the sense that perhaps these types of love relationships are not worth giving your entire life to. Maybe you could find a quick fix in one regard, which would be better than staying in a very, very toxic relationship for the long term. So, what this person would be like. So, we have here legal matters, we have expectation, and then we have sad news. These Kipper readings are a bit strange, but I just try to synthesize the general feeling that I get from all of these together. So this could be the type of person who likes to lock people down. They like the idea of being able to get with a person, get into a long-term relationship with them, and then just kind of siphon all they can from them for what it's worth. That could be money, emotion, attention, time, energy, you know, doing things for that person, for example, taking care of their kids or things like that. It's really, it's quite a toxic way of approaching a relationship. Legal matters, expectations, sad news. Perhaps when you put all these together, you have been the type of person who's been expecting to get married and to be in a stable relationship, but then you finally find out that the person is not worth their salt, and you end up receiving sad news about them. Perhaps they have been laying pipe in the neighbor next door and not necessarily giving you the attention that you needed at home. Or perhaps the person, is an extortionist. They like to extort things from you, intimidate you into doing things that you don't necessarily like or want to do or to deal with. And that leads to a toxic relationship. We use the word narcissist, but in 2026, everyone on this fucking planet, save for a small minority of people, is a narcissist. And some people are a narcissist at certain degrees of narcissism. So maybe it's just the nature of the way things are changing in the age of Aquarius, but I would just have to say that using the word narcissist right now is like calling all spaghetti, all pasta spaghetti. All forms of spaghetti are pasta, but not all forms of pasta are spaghetti. It's just really, really, really an overused term these days. Most people are just selfish pieces of shit. And generally speaking, it can go in a good way at times, and sometimes it can be a really negative thing. For the most part, it's very negative. And not to rant too much about that, let's get on with the rest of it. Your oracle message. So, I pulled an oracle message from the Guides of the Hidden Realms oracle, and we have here the dream of co-creation. So we talk about manifestation, divine partnership, frequency alignment. This means to me that if you have been experiencing a repeat cycle where you have dealt with negative individuals throughout your life, throughout your relationship experiences, think about what frequency that you're on and try to align that with something that is more conducive for you. So it's maybe in the way that you're manifesting people that is causing these repeat cycles to take place that are not in your best interest. And perhaps you might want to look for a more spiritual partnership, in the sense that you are looking for someone who complements your highest qualities and capabilities, your strengths, your passions, your long-term vision of life, rather than just getting a quick fix. Oh, this person looks nice. Oh, this person lays pipe like crazy. Oh, this, oh, that girl's got some, like, you know, good orifices. I don't know what people are looking for these days. I don't date much. Fuck it. You know, and all of these superficial, shallow qualities that everyone's looking for. This person can take care of me. This person's good in bed. This person's this person's that. Instead, what are your highest goals and aspirations that you're looking for? And this could be just a general message to a lot of the people on, who may be listening to this, all, however many of you for this time. But, I really hate babbling on and, banging on about the dating and, dating industry, as I call it nowadays, not even just the dating scene or the dating market. It's a dating industry. And really all they're producing is just not the most savory types of people. But you have control of your own life. And it's important for you to think about the frequency that you are vibrating on and what kind of person that you want to attract in your life and what it's going to take for you to achieve that. Because oftentimes we need to be able to self-reflect and understand precisely what kind of energy that we're putting out there and who's taking the bait for that. And that's the type of person that you're bringing into your life. So in order to change that, you have to change your frequency, focus on things that are going to help you to vibrate higher. And that in turn is going to get you right on the right path. Whew, okay, I've bitched and rambled enough. Who knows, maybe in the near future, because I do see at the bottom of the deck, you'll get some good booty out of this. But until then, happy Valentine's Day. Hope you have a great time. This has been Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for your time and attention for this reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. Until next time, take care. Love and light.